I know you got a little stash in a mason jar, but
And welcome back again. You're listening to Breakthrough Entertainment live on 1480 AM KPHX in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Dave alongside Tricia, Eric, and Kathleen. And you are correct that what you said Kathleen is beautiful,
tall, blonde, and beautiful.
Yeah,
and naked.
No, she's not naked now.
No, she's not naked. Oops, maybe I was wrong. No, I put on my glasses. I put on the naked glasses. Hey, does that really...
X-ray glasses.
Do they have really naked glasses, or is that...
Those are those X-ray glasses.
So they really work?
No.
Oh, darn. Oh, you've tried it, right? Oh.
Well, do you remember Bazooka Joe, Bazooka Bubblegum?
Yes.
The rappers used to have like those, you could send in like $1 and get
a prize. And you can get the X-ray glasses.
And that was one of the things they had.
I don't know, it worked for me. Maybe I hypnotized myself or something. I don't know. Anyway.
I think that's just your fantasy going through your head.
Oh, it works without glasses, too. What can I say? Maybe I hang around the wrong places or the right places. Eric, what are you doing next Friday? I'll show you where it is. Oh, what? You like candy? Candy store, that's it.
Candy store?
Yeah, we remember that place, right? Okay, I really thought it was candy. I didn't really mean to go in, but... boy, I sure looked around. Anyway, so where were we, Tricia? So we got a guest calling in, I believe, or Eric, or you think we're supposed to call him? Probably not. I think he'll be calling in.
Looking at the synopsis here.
Yeah, the hidden. He's an author of the Hidden World of Film
Noir.
Noir.
Yeah,
Noir.
There's no phone number there for me. So.
Noir. Did I say it right?
Noir.
French, right? And Mark A.
Viera.
See? She does it without restaurants. She just... How do you roll your tongue like that? It's like a drum roll.
Okay, you have to realize that my father...
Yeah?
...lived in Argentina for 2 years. So, one of the things...
I call it Argentina.
Right, but
Don't
one of
cry
the funny...
for me, Argentina.
One of the funny things was that when I was young, he used to do things... just for fun when we were hanging out. And so, like, when we were working on something and he was teaching me how to fix something, then to keep my mind busy, he would do things like say, R con R cigarro, R con R carril, rápidos corren los carros de ferrocarril, which is a way that you learn to trill your R's. It's a little like a nursery rhyme for kids.
Kids can pick that up?
So
let's try it with Eric.
I'm no kid. Perro.
Perro. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a dog.
Well, he's not a dog.
But if you have a single R, it's just perro.
But if he is a dog, he knows where to go for a luxurious comfort hotel.
B-U-T, not B-U-T-T.
Oh.
Pedo with one R means like but.
Oh.
But I'm going to do this instead.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you know all that, too. Can Kathleen roll her R's?
I used to speak Spanish fluently when I was a child.
Really? How'd you learn that?
In school.
Wow, that's outstanding. I never knew. But Kathleen, can you do that? I can't do it either. I just can't do it. It's, hey, let's have a R rolling contest.
You're next.
That's the best I can do, folks.
Actually, it's weird because...
It's secondhand to you.
You know how to purr. No, that's with your lips.
That's
not
your lips.
Not your tongue.
Oh, well, no, I don't. I'd have to be sleeping. I guess snoring will do the trick. I could unconsciously do it. Yeah, we should take me.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't have a number for him.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, that's okay because, it's funny. When I was in college...
Oh, he's calling in right now.
Yeah, when I was in college, I did an international film class. And we went to see a lot of various art films and films of the different genres. And film noir is always one of the favorites.
Yeah, that's always a good one.
Oh, and joining us now, we have a phenomenal author. His name is Mark A. Viera, and he has written a book called Into the Dark, The Hidden World of Film Noir from 1941 to 1960 or 50.
1950.
Boy,
that's
I
right.
didn't have my glasses on.
That's
Woo!
okay.
And
Welcome.
things are kind of dark and smoky here because we're getting in the mood. So
We're in the
welcome, Mark Ferreira.
Here I am.
Viera.
Wow, here you are. How are you today?
I'm live and in color.
Oh, very
Even though
good.
it's radio.
Not black and white?
Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm definitely in nitrate black and white today for you.
So how did you get interested in this type of film? And then, of course, you've written the book, Into the Dark, The Hidden World of Film Noir. How did I say that?
Noir.
I almost said it. Okay. What was your passion there?
Well, it all started in the 50s when the movie studios sold their pre-1948 movies to TV. So if you were anywhere in this country, you could see in 1 week movies from every studio and from the span of 2 decades. And a lot of those were the 40s, the detective movies. We didn't call them film noir in those days, late 50s. It was crime movies, hard-boiled detective, what they'd been called at that time. There was no term film noir in usage at that time. That didn't happen until the 70s when we were in college, and then we were told, oh, this is a new kind of study. It's a new way of looking at these movies. And, okay, but I know this movie from TV. So my love for these films came from watching them, as a child, and then going to the Oakland Public Library to find out how they were made. I was really curious. So then there weren't a lot of books at the time on film theory, but there were a lot of autobiographies, biographies, histories of the studios, pictorial histories. So, I really pursued it. I was fascinated.
Now, did you just say the Oakland Public Library?
Yeah, I grew up in East Oakland.
Seriously? I grew up in Oakland.
Oh,
I went to Skyline High School.
Yeah, this was on East 14th at 72nd Avenue. Yeah, I went to St. Bernard's Grammar School and to St. Joseph's in Alameda. But I remember I had friends who went to Skyline when I went to Cal State Hayward.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, and then when in those college days, then you did start to see, this weekend 2 film noir features, and people say, well, what's that? Oh, those detectives. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So that the phrase came into general usage in the mid to late 70s.
And there's great talent back then, from Orson Welles, Rita Hayworth, Billy Wilder. I mean, you had a bunch of tremendous talent, either as directors or acting. Have you, as part of the book, you've interviewed many of the talent that are still alive?
Well, the ones whom I knew when I first came to L.A. in the early 70s were a cinematographer named Lee Garms, whom you may have heard did about 1/3 of Gone with the Wind, and he got an Oscar for Shanghai Express, the Marlene Dietrich, Joseph von Sternberg film. He did a number of films, Caught with Robert Ryan, Nightmare Alley with Tyrone Power. So Lee Garms was definitely part of the film noir with his beautiful shadowed lighting. And I also met and did a portrait of Jane Greer, the star of Out of the Past and The Big Steal, who really is considered one of the film noir queens, along with Audrey Totter, Marie Windsor, Colleen Gray, Audrey Totter. But I didn't see, my interest at the time was to become a portrait photographer, and I didn't really, think of myself as researching or interviewing people for books, but I did hear, in the course of my own research, I heard a lot of stories, so I was able to incorporate them into the books that I write now. But, I wrote this book last year, so that there really is no one living. I called Colleen Gray, and she died before I could get to her, really.
Oh, wow.
She was the last of the film noir gals. But I feel that my contribution to the existing body of knowledge on film noir is that this is the first book on film noir that's not theory, it's not opinion. It's strictly documents and voices from the era so that you can find out how the films were made, how they were received both by critics and, very importantly, by audiences. I mean, haven't you ever watched a movie at the comfort of your home and thought, oh, how the heck did that go over in 1941 or 1950 or something? And I've been really pleased to be able to find a lot of accounts of how films went over, and even certain scenes in this book. For example, Double Indemnity, there's a scene where Barbara Stanwyck is visiting Fred McMurray at his apartment. They're not supposed to know each other. He's the insurance claims investigator, and she's the what do you call it, claimant, I guess. And then his boss comes to visit him at the apartment, and so they almost get caught in their conspiracy. They almost get caught, and when the film was run in Brooklyn, the audience went, eek, according to the reviewer, at the scene when she almost gets caught. And that's just, to me, that's gold, to hear what it was like to sit in a theater with the first-run audience of one of these films that we know so well, we cherish as part of our national folklore.
Well, and we know it today as a genre, but think about the cinematographers, the directors, the people who decided to bring this cinematic depth through the use of the lack of color, of the darkness, of the shadows. It's interesting because one of my favorite styles of elegant, long-living photography and portraits is black label portraits that they do that are in black and white, using that shadow and light. And it all came about because of someone having this idea in the beginning. So tell us a little bit about that someone.
Yeah, kind of what happened was World War II took a lot of people out of the studio system, and that included writers. So they were short of story material. So they went back, say, 10 years and thought, well, what do we kind of pass on a few years ago because it was too downbeat or it just wasn't commercial enough. And a lot of it was, for example, The Postman Always Rings Twice. In 1934, the Production Code Administration, Joseph Green, says, you're not going to film that. It's just too raunchy. It's just too lurid. So they pressed him again, and listen, Joe, Tay Garnett and the producer from MGM said, look, we're short on subject matter. We're short on product. We need this. We'll tone it down. We'll do it any way you want, but just let us film this movie. And they did get it past the censors. Part of it was that they made Cecil Kellaway play Cora's husband, and didn't make him a brutish character as was in the novel. So it made the main characters, this couple, this lustful couple, even less sympathetic. And that was part of the game with the production code, is that you have to show, sin must never be made attractive, or crime, wrongdoing. You always have to show it as being, reprehensible, and have it punished, and have someone in the film say what you're doing is wrong. So once those were met, then they could make this movie. But really, in 1946, this was already a trend, and the trend, according to the Los Angeles Times in 1944, started with, this was a shock to me, Citizen Kane and the Maltese Falcon. Mm-hmm. That this is a trend, and I thought, wow, this has never been in any film noir book, that Citizen Kane and the Maltese Falcon kicked off the genre. They're always saying, oh, it's probably Street of Chance from 1942, or The Stranger on the Third Floor from 1940, and which I found not in any way film noir. They just didn't qualify, because a film noir really has to have three things in it: alienated character, obsessed character, and doomed character. And those films didn't really qualify.
Well, and I think Humphrey Bogart's face was just made for the light and shadows of film noir.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that mysterious, forlorn almost look. I just think it's phenomenal. And this genre, I think, can touch people regardless of the length of time that has passed. And I just think it's really quite genius. And one of the places where you can find these films very easily accessible would be through like Turner Classic Movies and some of these other places. And now you partnered with Turner Classic Movies on this publishing venture, correct?
That's correct. They've joined with Running Press. Now, with Running Press, I've done a number of books that were huge film pictorials, but with a lot of text, 100,000 words usually. Cecil B. DeMille and George Hurrell's Hollywood. But this book, they said, oh, no, you can't do it big like that. I said, oh, no, it's got to be compact. So that's why the book only goes to 1950, but also why there are no production histories for each film, as I usually write. But in a way, it seems to work because there's more room for the photos, and it's more punchy. It's more like an instant reference book. And I think that the humor comes through more strongly, too, which is, I think, one reason why film noir has survived and become so popular is that there's the sadness in it and the irony, but there's also a lot of humor. And now it's mordant humor, I admit, but still it is humor, and it really balances. It makes the genre timeless.
For sure, definitely. And I do find it interesting that prior to this, and I think prior to the war, I think that we were in kind of a Pollyanna-type atmosphere, and everything, like you say here in your press release, you know, the industry was devoted to sweetness and light, and kind of like, I don't know, bubblegum pop, if you want to say that, or whatever.
Well,
it's just kind of that very light, airy, not a lot of substance type of a feel.
Yeah, that was especially true. Well, I guess you know about the pre-code movies from 30 to 34, and there wasn't a lot of sweetness and light in there.
No.
But then when the code came in, they said, let's start working on these historical movies, and that really, so they could find a lot of uplift in those movies. But by the late 30s, I mean, I've tried to watch some of these Paramount B pictures and 20th Century Fox B pictures, and before the code, there's some bite to them. Afterwards, no. But I mean, let's look at 1939. The great films of 39, they're not really sweetness and light. There's a lot of emotion there. But in the early 40s, you had a lot of propaganda, anti-Germany and anti-Japan propaganda, and there's a lot of sweetness and light. And then these films, by 44, you're starting to see the hard-boiled. They call it the hard-boiled trend, and it's mitigating against what was going on. So all these movies, you know, made money during the war.
Mm-hmm.
It was the biggest boom Hollywood ever saw. And curious enough, when the boom started to falter, the film noir did not go away. It stayed, but it did change around 1950, and you saw the femme fatale and the detective going away, and crime syndicate movies coming in. So that's why I'm glad this book ends where it does, because it really is cohesive. It really is of a particular, you know, one type of film. The film noir from 46, 47, 48 really is detectives and the femme fatale and or there be athletes or disillusioned veterans coming back, and they go through a film noir experience. But it really is different. The film noir of 52, 53 is very different from the film noir of 46, 47. For one thing, as you may have noticed, these are all big budget movies.
Mm-hmm.
Big, big, expensive movies with big stars, and you wouldn't see that in the early 50s for a film noir.
Yeah. Well, and I think probably your history in photography has really helped you to have this book include so many wonderful photographs, and we really, really appreciate you coming and sharing with us about this venture. And
Mark, I have just one more question. So many great movies: Maltese Falcon, Double Indemnity, The Lost Weekend, Detour. I mean, I could go on and on. What was your favorite movie?
I have to say it's split between two: Murder My Sweet and Out of the Path.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, really good stuff. There's no question. How did they get your book, by the way?
You can, Barnes & Noble has it, a lot of independent bookstores have it, and, of course, Amazon.
Excellent. And Mark Viera, did I say that right?
That's right.
Okay. And Into the Dark, The Hidden World of Film Noir, 1941 to 1950. Get the book. Definitely check this out. Any other contact information, Mark, that you want to give?
I have a website, markaviera.com, if people have questions about the book.
Excellent. Well, Mark, it's really been an honor, pleasure. Very interesting. We'd love to have you on again because this is really good stuff. A lot of people appreciate that, no doubt about it. And you have a great weekend, and we'll have you on again soon.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. That was really interesting. I've seen some of those movies, and they're actually really good movies.
And they're timeless.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
They are timeless.
Well, let's take a quick break right now because when we come back, we have another very special in-studio guest, singer, songwriter Shari Rowe, coming in with her band, I think, or part of her band.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back.